So, and it comes transformed from fiction into realism, even though it is a work of fiction.
Okay, everybody. Matter of fact, Leon Higgins, we're going to be, sorry there, sir. We're going to be having start asking questions. But you know what? We'll be right back after this.
I got Jesus for sale. Won't you drop some money in my box and I'll tell you my tale? Well, I walked up in here, looking straight in the eyes. I said, man, you're gonna fail. He asked why, and I said, don't be foolish, man. This gospel is not for sale. I asked why, and he said, don't be foolish, man. This gospel is not for sale. Back on his black and laughed and had evil in his eye. Said, I'll even tell you when he's coming back. I said, you know it's a lie. He said, won't you drop some money in my box and I'll tell you my tale. I said, hey, I don't think you heard me the first time. The gospel is not for sale. Man, I don't think you heard me the first time.
That is bad.
Well, I looked in his face long and hard and said, you get no money from me. Jesus bore the sins of this world so that we could be free. Jesus died on the cross because he loves even you. Now that's my tale, and I hope you listen closer this time, because this gospel is not for sale. I hope you listen closely this time. This gospel is not for sale. You know, the good book tells us, freely you have received, so freely you must give.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, we have Leon at the audience couch, where the audience gets to ask questions about his book. We also going to be having Kevin will be going to each person, each you know what? Can somebody help me here? Because you know I'm going to say audience again. Each individual and be asking questions. Okay, I'm sure everybody loves reading books, right? Come on now, we're in literary broadcasting.
That's right. I polled the audience, and they do read books. So this is good.
Okay. Well, we do have our first individual that's going to ask the question.
We do. We have this gentleman right here. I believe everybody knows this man. Howard. Yes.
We got Howard Fredson in our midst, people. Howard
Fredson. He is much more inquisitive than I ever imagined. So you have a question?
Yes. Let's let everybody know that Howard Fredson, he's also the author of Our Family Treasure. Okay. Yes. He's also dedicated. He's also has dedicated his time as the announcer, and he's also as well as a board member. So he does a lot of things to help out in this industry. Very humble man, and I'm proud for him to be here. And guess what? Now it's his turn to ask another author.
I'm nervous now. You didn't tell me he was one of the bosses. Sorry, sir.
Okay, well, I'm also a book reader, and I read Leon's book, and I got to tell you, the characters are unbelievable, and that's my question. Do you actually know people like this in your life?
Actually, yes, absolutely. A lot of my characters are, patterned after individuals that has been in my life at one stage or another. Yes.
Wow. Okay, we have another question here, right up here.
What inspired you to start writing?
Other than being inquisitive, I'm a very avid reader myself. And to be precise, years ago, there used to be an abundance of books that were published in the genre that I write in. And as I said before, street fiction. And then all of a sudden, that pool dried up, where it left a void there for me to even find books that I like to read in that genre. So I don't know, I started thinking about it one day, and I said, well, if I can't find books that people are writing that I like to read, why not write myself? So that's how it really came about.
Okay, before we go on, I'd like to be able to talk about the audience. You can ask more than one question if you want to. It's not where, just raise your hand and that's it, one question and sit down. Feel free if you ask one question because you're the reader. You would want to know. So this is not like, sitting at the White House and Mr. President, you know what I'm saying? But, and not everybody gets a chance to ask questions, and usually he says no comment. Here, because we are indulging from the discovering the unknown authors to become known, okay? I really want all of you to be able to ask at least two, more than just one question, okay? At least a couple of questions. Be creative if you need to. Keep them on this game because this is a good book, and we're talking about not only just, here for Michigan, but there's a lot more states than just here. And he'll be traveling even, like before, we traveled together to other states. So we're not talking about just Barnes and Noble in Michigan, but we're trying to have undiscovered authors throughout the United States as well. And it could be a role model and a prime example because the questions that you ask, like I said, they got on my case, and that was on a Sunday, actually, because, and I understand it was right, it's because the fact that the people that are watching, you as viewers, you really want to know more and in detail because you want to know where you're going to spend your hard-earned money, especially when you're ordering books at the store compared to spending money for gas, right? So if the book is worth the read, you will spend the money to be worth the read. So am I right? All right. Well, then let's do this. Let's be real. Make it a reality here. Like reality TV. Go ahead.
So we have another question right here. All right. How long did it take you to write your book?
Well, this particular book, it took me about 4 months.
Any more questions? Another question? Oh, right here. I'm just going to lean over if that's okay.
Okay, did you put yourself in that book? Did you live that life?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And not knowing exactly who's listening to the answer of that question, I have to kind of keep it a little bit suppressed. Yeah, there's bits and pieces of things that I've participated in my life. Yeah, bits and pieces. Not all of it, but bits and pieces.
We have one more here. Well, I grew up in Detroit as well, and I recognized lots of streets. Some of the names seemed a little different. Did you get creative with the settings in the book?
Well, actually, as far as specific locations in Detroit, some of them were pinpoint on, and then some of them were, you know, a little fudged in there, yeah. Any more questions?
Any more questions? Are you going to continue writing? Are you going to write any more books?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the sequel to He, She, Black Widow is already a work in motion now, and it's entitled Motown Monster. And I want everybody, after they read He, She, Black Widow, be looking for it, because He, She, Black Widow lit the fuse. Motown Monster is the explosion. Look
Wow.
for the explosion.
Right on. Can I ask you also? I'm excited about the new book, but I would really like to understand where you came up with the title, the He, She, Black Widow.
Well, actually, the title to this book is really kind of peculiar, because I didn't start off writing this book with any particular title in mind. The story itself more or less manifested the title to the book.
Oh.
And you know, and if you, and I'm not going to say if you read the book, but after you read the book, then the title of it will become crystal clear to you.
Right on. Any other questions from our audience? I think we've I think they've run out. Stephen, we're done.
Oh, okay. You know, we do have another person. Well, we do have another person in the audience that wants to ask a question. So ask a few questions, and you know what? This is where it gets good. I love it. I love it, because now it strikes an interest. It strikes an interest. So are we ready? Or I mean, I'm asking the audience now. Are we
No,
ready?
wow.
Because go ahead, let me start
Question.
asking
That's
questions
awesome.
now. This is good.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you, sir.
Oh, that's okay. My question was, your second was called Motown Monster, correct?
Yes,
Motown
that's
Monster.
well. Let me explain this to you. He, She, Black Widow is actually a trilogy. There's 3 parts to this story.